Let's go Broncos! We have something very important to share with you. The Denver Broncos are no longer the underdog, and the NFL is finally waking up to what's happening in Denver. For too long, this team has been overlooked, dismissed, and disrespected. But those days are over. The Sean Payton era is in full force, and the rest of the league is taking note. I'll tell you everything that's going on in a moment. But first, hit the like button if you agree with me that Sean Payton is one of the people responsible for taking the Broncos to another level. If possible, comment like this: Go Broncos! Let's go to the Super Bowl. Last year, the Broncos were ranked among the worst teams in the league. Power rankings had them at 30th, 31st, and even as far back as 32nd. Bookmakers were betting against them, predicting they would have the worst record in the NFL. Some even suggested they could go winless. That was the perception. That was the reality, until it wasn't. Fast forward to now, and the narrative has completely changed. ESPN, NFL Network, Pro Football Focus, all the major outlets have the Broncos not only in the top 10, but as a legitimate playoff contender. And they should, because this team didn't sneak into the playoffs last year. They've proven they belong. A year ago, people laughed at the idea of Bo Nix leading this team. The critics mocked Sean Payton for comparing him to Patrick Mahomes. The so-called experts looked at the Broncos roster and saw nothing but holes, no receivers, no running backs, just a solid defense. But what happened? This team balled out. They made the playoffs. And if a few key plays had gone differently, if a blocked field goal against Kansas City doesn't happen, if Patrick Surtain stays healthy, if game management is a little sharper in overtime against Cincinnati, we're talking about a completely different season. This wasn't a fluke. This wasn't luck. This was a team on the rise. Now, with another offseason under Sean Payton and another draft class coming in, the Broncos aren't just looking to make the playoffs, they're looking to make a run. Last year's rookies played a huge role in Denver's success. 5 rookies saw meaningful snaps in the playoffs. Devin Vele emerged as a serious weapon. Bo Nix silenced the doubters. Troy Franklin caught a crucial touchdown in Buffalo. And now, with another strong draft class, this team could be right in the mix for a deep playoff push. But there's a challenge ahead. The Broncos can't afford to stand still. The AFC is stacked. And if Denver wants to keep pace, they need to keep adding weapons. Bo Nix showed flashes of brilliance last season, but he needs more help. The front office knows it. The coaching staff knows it. The fans know it. So the question becomes, who's next? Right now, there's a lot of buzz around the Broncos possibly trading up in the draft. The rumor? Denver is in talks to move up from the 21st pick to the 12th pick in a deal with the Dallas Cowboys. And the target? Tight end Tyler Warren. Now, this is where the debate gets real. Is it worth giving up a first-round pick this year and another first-rounder next year to get him? On one hand, Evan Engram is already in the mix, and he's a massive upgrade at tight end. On the other hand, Warren could be a long-term solution at the position while Engram only has a few years left at the top of his game. There's also the reality of what Denver went through after the Russell Wilson trade. Sitting out the first round of the draft year after year was painful. Do the Broncos really want to mortgage the future again? Or do they trust that Sean Payton can find the right player at number 21 and keep building the roster the right way? And let's not forget about Devin Vele. This guy is primed for a breakout year. If he had stayed healthy last season, we might already be talking about him as one of the best young receivers in the league. Payton has compared him to Marquez Colston for a reason. His size, his awareness, his ability to make contested catches, it's all there. And the chemistry he has with Bo Nix? Off the charts. If Denver believes in him as a future WR1, does that change how they approach the draft? Do they still go after another pass catcher early? Or do they prioritize other areas? One thing is for sure, the Broncos are no longer a team on the outside looking in. They're here, they're legitimate, and the league is finally giving them the respect they deserve. But what do you think? Should Denver make the move for Tyler Warren, or should they hold onto their picks? Does Bo Nix have enough weapons to take this team deep into the playoffs, or do they still need to add more firepower? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because one thing's for sure, this is going to be a massive offseason for the Denver Broncos. And that's exactly why this next phase of the offseason is so crucial for the Broncos. They've made it this far, they've turned heads, and they've proven they belong. But in the NFL, staying relevant is just as hard as getting there in the first place. The question isn't whether Denver is a playoff team. The question is whether they have what it takes to be a real Super Bowl contender. That's why this draft is so important. And let's be real, Sean Payton knows how to find talent. Look at what he did last year. Bo Nix? People laughed. They said he was a reach. They said he wouldn't translate to the NFL. And yet, he was out there making plays, proving that he's the guy to lead this franchise. Devin Vele, another late-round find who's already showing signs of becoming a star. Troy Franklin, a legit deep threat, and that's just the beginning. If Denver can replicate even half of that success in this year's draft, they're not just making the playoffs, they're making noise once they get there. So let's talk about the options. If the Broncos stay put at number 21, who do they go after? There's a lot of talk about adding another wide receiver, a true number one guy. And while that's tempting, let's not forget about the other areas that need attention. Running back is a position to watch. Yes, they've got talent, but imagine adding a guy like Omarion Hampton. That's an instant game changer. Or what about the offensive line? Protecting Bo Nix has to be a priority if this team wants to take the next step. Then there's the defense. Denver's defense was one of the most underrated units in the league last year, but they still need more playmakers. Could they go after a dominant edge rusher? Someone who can consistently get after the quarterback and make life miserable for guys like Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen? That's the type of move that could take this team from good to great. But let's bring it back to the big rumor, the possible trade up to number 12. Trading up means the Broncos are going all in. It means they believe Tyler Warren is the missing piece. And let's be clear, Warren is a beast. At 6 feet 6 inches, he's a matchup nightmare. He's got the hands, the route running, and the physicality to be a major weapon in the passing game. Pairing him with Evan Engram would give Bo Nix 2 elite tight ends to work with, creating mismatches all over the field. But is it worth the cost? That's the debate. Giving up 2 first-round picks is no small thing. And after the pain of the Russell Wilson trade, Broncos fans know better than anyone what it's like to go years without premium draft capital. If Denver makes this move, they have to be absolutely certain that Warren is the guy. He has to be a franchise cornerstone, because if they miss on this trade, it sets them back in a big way. Then again, let's not underestimate Sean Payton. He's been around long enough to know what he's doing. If he sees Warren as a game changer, maybe it's worth the risk. This is the same guy who built an offensive juggernaut in New Orleans. The same guy who helped develop multiple Pro Bowlers out of nowhere. If he believes in Warren, maybe we should too. And let's not forget the other wild card in all of this, free agency. There are still moves to be made. Could the Broncos pull off a surprise signing? A veteran wide receiver? Another offensive weapon? And what about the defense? Could they add a proven pass rusher to take some of the pressure off the secondary? There are a lot of possibilities, and with the way this offseason has already gone, nothing would be shocking. The bottom line is this: the Denver Broncos are back. This isn't hype. This isn't wishful thinking. This is reality. They've proven they can compete. They've proven they belong. And now, with another strong offseason, they have the chance to go from playoff team to legitimate contender. So now it's your turn. What do you think? Should the Broncos make the trade up for Tyler Warren? Should they stay put and add talent at number 21? Do you trust Sean Payton to get it right again? And what's your biggest concern heading into next season? Let me know in the comments. I want to hear from you. This is your team, your squad, and your moment. Let's ride. And let's not ignore the elephant in the room. This season isn't just about making the playoffs. It's about dethroning the Kansas City Chiefs. Denver proved last year that they can go toe-to-toe with the defending champs. They dominated them once and nearly took them down again. Bo Nix has the talent. Devin Vele has the breakout potential. The defense is hungry. Now, it's all about finishing the job.